how's it going, guys? Welcome back. Why are guitar strings making so friggin' long? Why? Well, this question actually came up on Facebook. And normally when I see a stupid question show up, I'm really rude. Okay, because it's stupid. And eventually I'll get that video done someday. Anyways, this was actually a pretty intelligible question, and I agree with it. Why are they made so long? But I do have a solution for you guys as to why this does happen. So, we have many different sizes of guitars, as you know. We have short little ones, we have medium, we have a little bit longer, and we got full-size guitars. We need strings to fit these things. So they make them really long so that you only have to buy a brand of strings called Elixir Nano Web Phosphorus Bronze, which are my favorite. I hate the 80-20 mix, they suck. Coated strings yet. 1253 is the gauge we choose, or in this case D'Addario 1253 because it's a cheap guitar. It doesn't deserve Elixirs. Anyways, so this saves confusion because people have no clue to look on a rack to make sure that they buy strings for a 30-inch guitar, a 39-inch, a 40, a 41, a 28 and a half. They have no clue. They're not going to look. They're going to see, I like Elixirs, I like D'Addarios, I like Gibson, I like Martin, I like these, I like GHS, I like these. Okay, so they're not going to read the package. This is a problem. They'll go home and they got a full-size guitar and they bought strings for a 3/4 size guitar and they don't work because there's not enough string. So they make the strings really super long so that you have plenty of extra string to cut off, which comes in handy to make it as a tool, at least on acoustic guitars. 4 out of 6 frets, you can recut the slots using the string to make sure you get the perfect roundness and perfect fit by using the string as a little saw. Okay? E and B you're kind of screwed with. You're going to have to actually have sandpaper or a file for that. I'm sorry. Okay? With electric guitars, G, B, and E are going to be your problem strings because they're not wound, so they can't cut into the nut. So, if you have to do any nut work, then you either have all the actual proper tools, or you can use 4 out of 6 strings on acoustics, or 3 out of 6 on an electric, and then have something different for the other 3 if you need to. Generally, though, you only ever have to worry about E, A, and D. Okay, those are the only ones that ever go screwy on some guitars. Generally, okay. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect science, but the thing is, if manufacturers had to make strings to fit a specific size of guitar, people would be buying strings and going, oh no, I got the wrong ones. But you can't take them back because you already used them. The store ain't going to take those back. You already wound those suckers in. Or you tried to. Maybe you had just enough to make it to the tuner and get half a wind on. Yeah, you bought the wrong size. You should have read the package. And then you'll hear people crab on Facebook about that like endlessly. Not that we don't get enough of that already, but this is a subject we don't want to have endlessly going on all the time. So, here's how things work. They make them really long, so you never have to complain about the length of strings until today. I'm tired of cutting off an extra foot. Being rude about this would be me normally would be saying, then maybe you should stop playing guitar if all you're going to do is whine about the extra string, okay? I mean, seriously. They have to be long enough to fit the guitar. So what if you got some extra? It's handy tools. Anyway, so I was very polite because you know what? It's not a stupid question. I've seen a lot of them, but this was not one of them. And I fully agree with that question, you know, but I do have the answer. So part of that is, you know, people don't read packages. This would cause a lot of chaos and a lot of problems with people crabbing back at the music store. You sold me the wrong strings. No, they didn't. You didn't tell them what you had for a guitar at home. You're bad. Sorry, it's on you. Okay? Or you didn't know your own guitar, so again, you're bad, not theirs. You have no right to complain. You screwed up. So they don't need this hassle. So the industry says for all acoustic guitars and all electric guitars, the strings are going to be this flippin' long, so you got lots to wind onto here. Now, some people put way too many windings on their guitars. Or, you want to see something stupid? I see people that actually do this side right, But this side, they're on the other side, or vice versa. Or they put them all on the outside. And it's like, what is that? They're supposed to be all on the inside. Anyways, but then we get these people who don't cut the excess off. Now, these are people I crab at too, as well as do many others crab at these people on Facebook. And I do it even on YouTube videos. When I see somebody on a YouTube video, I'm like, I am so going to forget the content. I'm going to nail them on his strings. That's dangerous. Leaving the hairs stringy is very much a dangerous thing. Not only to you as the player, because you could poke your eyeball out, okay, or make it bleed or something. But what about your kids? What about your animals? What about your spouse that picks up your guitar? Pa-ting! And somebody's going to the ER, okay? Cut the bloody things, okay? Even people who wrap them, they still got sharp little pointies that are going to stick out. Like, why do you do this? I have no idea. But it's definitely dumb and not safe at the same time. Cut the suckers short. Now, if you want to know how I string my guitars, because I've had one person actually say, why do you have an extra 1.5 inches? Because I just strung it. So what I do is I string my guitar up. Okay, yes, I have that extra. But I leave about 2 inches on each string for a couple of days. This allows that I can tune the snot out of this thing, stretch and pull at the strings, and if anything's gonna slip at least that 2 inches, I am more than covered if something's gonna go wrong, okay? Because it could be a lack of winding, okay? I'd rather have a little than too much winding, because too much winding your guitar will never stay in tune. Doesn't matter how good it is. Anyways, so I'll do that for a couple days, just as a safety thing, right? And all my guitars hang up on the wall anyway, so I'm not worried. I don't have animals at home. I don't have kids. Even if I did, they'd all still stay on the walls anyways, and nobody comes in this room without my express permission. Otherwise, yeah, I'm going to be yelling. So, but after about 2 days, then I cut them off really super short, okay, because by then I know I'm safe. Okay, and it looks appropriate. It looks good. It looks proper, and it's safe. Okay, now here's the other reason why strings are made so bloody long, okay? It's not only to avoid the problems at the stores, people buying the wrong strings because they would do it all the time, but it's also going to add a lot of extra square footage to the store unnecessarily, okay, of having more strings and less instruments on display. See, music stores want to sell you an instrument. They also want to sell you strings. Okay, so, but a store can only be so big depending on the store. Like even every Long and McQuaid store that I've been in is a different size. Some are slightly smaller, okay? Some are really freaking huge. Like there's one in Winnipeg that's like really huge. Anyways, that's a candy store and a half. I'd be like, you think my wife would ever get me out of there? No, I have to tell the owner, I'll rent your back room. Okay, so, because that place is a definite candy store. I was there when I was about 14 looking for my guitar that I was going to actually learn on when I was taking lessons when I was 14. I've been playing guitar far longer, but I've had guitars my entire life, and but I needed something worthy enough to learn on. So we did end up getting a right-handed guitar, flipping the strings. I've told this story before. Anyways, not necessary. Point is, big store, cool candy store. Anyways, so, but the square footage it would take up to have all those extra strings to cover every possible size of guitar specifically for specific length would be ludicrous, okay? So that would force music stores to have even bigger stores just to accommodate 25 more racks of strings. I'd rather see 4 racks than 20 or 30 racks of strings, okay? I'd rather see zero confusion than mass hysteria, okay? And so does the industry and so do the stores. So that's why strings are made so flippin' long for guitars. Even with ukuleles and baritone ukes, so your ukes are soprano, concert, tenor, and then you got the baritone uke, which is kind of like a guitar. Same tuning as the 4 bottom strings, okay? Now, bass guitars do come in 2 scale lengths. You have a short scale and you have long scale. There are specific strings for that. one thing you find commonly is you can walk into any music store and you can guarantee you're going to find short scale and long scale basses on the wall, but 90% of the time they're going to be out of stock on the short scale strings. It's like, why? Can't you just triple your order, you know? And then maybe I can get one pack and be the last person to buy the last pack. Like, seriously. Because putting long scale strings on a short scale bass, not a good idea apparently, because you end up with too thick a winding or not enough winding and it doesn't stay in tune right. Because bass guitars have this extra little bit of string here with some furry stuff on it sometimes, you know, and that's to go into the tuner and go brrrr, and you can have 4, 5, or 6 windings, no big deal, and you're done with the hair, and now it's on the opposite side of the net where it belongs, and you have a bass that'll stay in tune, hopefully. So, there are 2 variants of bass guitar strings, but when it comes to electric guitars and acoustic guitars, it's an industry standard length, man. It's just boof, done, okay? And you don't have to worry about it. You know you'll have enough string to do any size of acoustic or electric guitar. Same as 12-string guitars. There's a lot of different types of 12-string guitars, but yet there's an industry standard for length, and there needs to be. And there needs to be that excess, okay? So that you know you have enough to string that puppy with, right? Now, different gauges of strings, too, which is the other thing. Another reason why they're so long is when you get into thinner gauges, you have to have more windings on the post to accommodate the thinner gauges, especially when you get down into like G, B, and E. They're your really thin ones. You have to have a lot more windings than you would with 1253s or 1254s or 11s, you know. But when you drop below 11s on an acoustic, you know, or even on an electric, you drop below 10s or 9s, you're at more windings. I mean, you have to have them, or those strings are going to slip no matter what you do. Okay? Oh, yeah, somebody will bring up locking tuners. Don't even talk to me about locking tuners. That we'll cover on another video, okay? But they're a joke and they're a gimmick, and that's all I'm going to say about that on this video, because I have used them, so I do know. And I've also known a lot of guitar players that have even bought high-end ones, and they are nothing more than a gimmick, period. But to each their own, and that's where we'll leave that one for now. But that covers up why strings are made so long, and there's a reason for it. Because people are not going to know what to buy. They're not going to know that they have a 3/4 size guitar at home. They're not going to know if they have a half size or a full size. Well, they should know if they have a full size, but generally not, because you know you can get acoustic guitars 40-inch, 41-inch, 1-inch. What's it doing for me? Is that the headstock? I don't know. But there's a 40 and a 41. There's a 38. There's a 38.5. There's a 26. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of different lengths of guitars, so make an industry standard. Make them friggin' long, so if they cut off a foot, who cares? If they cut off 1.5 feet, who cares? At least they're cutting off the excess, things look proper, things are safe, everybody's happy, nobody goes to the ER, thumbs up, okay? Anyways, that's what I got on this one for you guys, as far as this stuff goes. Stay tuned for more. I'm hoping we get more intelligible questions, though, because I like doing videos that are based on intelligible questions that other people would be asking too, but don't go to groups or don't know to go to groups. But there are definitely stupid questions out there, that is for sure. I totally agree with that. There are some really dumb ones, and I've been working on a video for about 2 years now. I've still not gotten it because I'm trying to keep it short too, but it's kind of hard when you got so many of them in the list. I have to do like 50 videos on this subject, okay? But at the same time, we do need to try and be as polite as possible. I get that. That's why I was polite to this guy, because it wasn't a stupid question for once. It was a very good question, in which a lot of people would probably be asking the same thing. Why are strings so long? You know, and those are the reasons, guys. If they did the opposite, too much chaos and havoc, too many people crabbing and whining about them being the wrong strings that they bought for length, stores would have to have too much extra space just for strings, which would be ridiculous. They don't make a lot of profit on a pack of strings, okay? They make their profit on these, okay? That's where the money is, okay? But at the same time, it's better to have a standardized system for string length than to not, okay? better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. That goes for a lot of things in this life, okay? So you have to think about that aspect of it too. Anyways, without further ado, we will get out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching and for sticking around for this video. Hopefully it helped people. Subscribe, definitely. Smash the bell for notifications, and you can get more videos from me. And I'm sure we'll have some more good question to answered videos. And eventually I'll get to that stupid question video someday. See ya!